Good morning, students. This is the part 2 of ruling the countryside. Till now, we have seen that in 1765, when Britisher had got the Diwani right of Bengal, they decided to implement their revenue policy in the countryside because they need money for the expansion of trade, for the fortification, and for other their expenses. So they implement the first revenue policy, that was permanent settlement, and specifically in the area of Bengal. This was devised by Lord Cornwallis. At that time, he was a governor general of that means of the British India. So in this system, revenue was fixed, and the assessment and the collection responsibility was on the zamindar. And if zamindar would not be able to pay the revenue, then their zamindari has been auctioned and given to some other person. So in this system, British had no any chance to increase their profits. So say he escaped to other revenue system, that was Mahalwari system. In this Mahalwari system, the the British officials went to a particular village. They minutely observe, measure the field, and assess the revenue of that particular plot. Then they add up all the revenues of a village, and then it was decided, it was the responsibility of that headman of the village to give it to the British. And the third system was Rayatwadi system. In this system was implemented in the Madras region. And in this system also, now British made a direct contact with the rayats, with the peasant. And now rayat had to give the revenue to the British. But in all these system, revenue was very high that peasant became unable to pay it, and sometime they had to sell off uh, their generation land. And slowly the village start empatite, and most of the villagers start leaving their villages, and they went toward the other areas. So in this way, British find out that only revenue is not enough for their income. They should see some other option. And then they start growing, or was forced to the farmer to grow the crops in their field. So what were the crops that were grown by the British, and what were their methods, and for this further, what uh, problems created in the other areas, we will see here. So soon, British realize that the revenue that they are getting from the countryside is not enough to fulfill their expenses. So they start thinking to grow the crops that are needed at that time for the Europe. So sometime they persuaded, or they forced the cultivators in various part of the India to produce various type of crops. Like in Bengal, they used to grow opium, indigo, jute. In, in Assam, they did tea plantation. In United Province, now Uttar Pradesh, they grew sugarcane. In Punjab, they grew wheat. In Maharashtra and Punjab, they grew cotton. And in Madras, they grew rice. So were the crops that were grown by the British, not to fulfill the need of the Indian people, but to fulfill the demand of the Europe. Why the demand for Indian indigo? So what were the situation created in the world in the Britain that give a courage to British to grow Indian indigo and to get huge profit? Because earlier the British never saw that India would be a source to grow indigo. So what were the reasons that make British look towards Indian indigo? Number one, that indigo, it is a plant which used by cloth dyer to color their clothes. And this plant is grown in a tropical region. There was another plant and that's name was wood, and this is grown in a temperate region. As most of the European countries comes under a temperate region, so growth of indigo is not possible in their own land. So they were using wood in place of indigo. But wood does not give good blue color like that of indigo. So European countries started to grow indigo in their colonies. Like French people started to grow indigo in Saint Domingo. Portuguese started to grow indigo in Brazil. English people, they started to grow Jamaica, and Spanish in Venezuela. As the time passed on, the supply of the indigo from South America and West Indies has dropped down due to various reasons. So now there is a one door, that is India. Second reason is by the end of 18th century in Britain, industrialization has been begun. Machine was being invented, and from the machine cotton clothes were being produced. So as the clothes were being prepared, so for dyeing this, for coloring this, indigo demands would automatically come. But till that time, the supply of indigo from the other places has been stopped. So Britishers have only one door that was open till now, and that was India. So so British choose Indian land to grow indigo, because now Indian territory has been come totally under the British control. They were implementing their policy, administrative policy, revenue policy. So to grow the crops, it was not a big task for the British people. So they started to expand their area under indigo cultivation in India. So Britain turned towards the India. So as the supply from the other areas has been stopped, so British has only one option, that is India, to grow indigo and slowly as the indigo production expand in Indian territory, the Bengal indigo began dominating in the world market. Now many British officials, as they saw that there is a much profit in the production of indigo, so they start investing in the indigo cultivation, and many company officials left their job even to look after into this business. Attracted by these high profit, numerous Scotchmen and Englishmen came to India and they became planter. Sometimes those who doesn't have money to produce indigo, they could get loan from the company and the bank that were coming up at that time. How was indigo cultivated? There were two main systems of indigo cultivation. The first, niche niche cultivation, and second, rayati system. Niche, number one is niche cultivation. Niche, it is a Hindi word, and niche means होता है अपना, own. So when any British planter in the niche system, British planter bought the land from a zamindar or from a peasant and produce indigo on that. So they have their direct control on that land, and they complete all the plantation activity directly by hired laborers. So this is a niche cultivation. So the problem with niche cultivation, तो निच कल्टीवेशन में जो ब्रिटिश प्लांटर्स थे वो लैंड को खरीदते थे और फिर उस पर कल्टीवेशन करते थे. तो इसमें क्या प्रॉब्लम उनको फेस हुई? नंबर वन प्रॉब्लम वाज एरिया एक्सपेंशन वाज डिफिकल्ट इन दिस सिस्टम. So British planter found very difficult in area expansion because indigo only could be cultivated on a fertile land, and most of the lands were overpopulated, densely populated. So only small plots were present in a scattered manner. And planters need a big chunk of a land because they have to produce the indigo on a large scale. And if they try to remove the person from their land, if they try to do a struggle with the peasant, so it can create a tension. Okay, so area expansion was difficult. Now indigo production can done only on a fertile land. Okay, and fertile land was involved in a rice cultivation, so it cannot be possible. थर्ड was ए हायर्ड लेबरर्स वर अनअवेलेबल, क्योंकि इंडिगो कल्टीवेशन में कोई भी पर्सन खुद सारा काम नहीं कर सकता था, उसको हायर्ड वर्कर की जरूरत पड़ती ही थी. तो मीन्स बाहर से कुछ मजदूरों को बुलाना ही पड़ता था. लेकिन गांव में जिस समय इंडिगो का कल्टीवेशन होता था, जिस समय वो उसका जो सीजन था वही सीजन राइस कल्टीवेशन का था, तो हायर्ड वर्कर्स तो राइस कल्टीवेशन में इन्वॉल्व होते थे, फार्मर्स तो राइस कल्टीवेशन में बिजी होते थे. और आपको पता है कि राइस कल्टीवेशन में बहुत सारे मजदूरों की जरूरत होती है, तो इसलिए इंडिगो कल्टीवेशन के लिए जो लेबर्स थे, वर्कर्स थे, वो भी नहीं मिल पाते थे. तो दिस वाज आल्सो अ प्रॉब्लम इन दिस निच कल्टीवेशन. सेकंड वाज प्लाउज एंड बुलक कार्ट्स वर अनअवेलेबल because Britishers were doing the cultivation on a large scale and it needs a large number of bullock carts and plow. Suppose for a 1 bigha they need 2 bullock carts, so for a 1000 bighas they needs 2000 plows. Okay, so buying is not a easy thing, because if they buy 2000 plows and bullocks, so in the maintenance and in this means buying and maintenance both is a very difficult thing, problematic thing. So and at the same time bullocks and plows are busy in the rice cultivation, so farmer even cannot supply it to this British planters. So in this niche cultivation, these are the three problems. Area expansion was very difficult, and indigo only could be cultivated on a fertile land, and fertile land is already involved in a rice cultivation. Hired laborers were unavailable at the time of harvesting of indigo, and plows and bullock carts were unavailable for this niche cultivation. So now, as a lot of a problem in this niche cultivation, so they find out some alternative and then they think of a new system, that is रैयती system. रैयती का मतलब जानते हैं आप, किसान होता है. इसमें फिर से वो किसान से कुछ एग्रीमेंट करेंगे. ओके, सो व्हाट इज दिस रैयती सिस्टम? इन दिस सिस्टम प्लांटर्स, कौन है प्लांटर्स? ब्रिटिश. सो ब्रिटिश मेड एग्रीमेंट विथ रैयत्स. अब इस सिस्टम में वो कोई लैंड वेंड नहीं खरीदने वाले हैं, वो किसान से ही एक एग्रीमेंट करेंगे. क्या एग्रीमेंट होगा? They make an agreement that you have to grow indigo on at least 25% of the area under your holdings. यानी तुम्हारे पास जितना भी लैंड है, तुम्हें उस लैंड के केवल 25% पर इंडिगो को ग्रो करना है, और they will give cash money in advance to the peasant at a very low rate of interest. और खर्च कौन देगा? ब्रिटिश देंगे. ब्रिटिश विल प्रोवाइड द सीड्स, ब्रिटिश विल प्रोवाइड द मशीन्स और द ऑल द फैसिलिटीज Just cultivator has to prepare the soil, sow the seed, and look after the crops. Okay, so initially, peasant were tempted with this proposal as they were getting the loan in advance from the British, but soon they realized that this method is very harsh and some other problems had created in their life, so they start relecting it also. What were the problem with this Rayati system? We will see further. Why were रैयत reluctant to grow indigo? क्यों आखिर किसान इंडिगो को नहीं उगाना चाहते थे? Why they were unwillingly to grow it? Number one reason, रैयत्स were getting a very less price of its production they because they had got money in advance from the planter, and it was decided beforehand that they could only sell their product to that person from whom they have taken the loan. Means they have no any other alternative. They cannot go to the market, they cannot sell it to any other trader. Whatever money was given by the British officials, they had to take it, and that was very less price for their own survival. Second one, unended loan, because when the crop was delivered to the planter after the harvest, a new loan was given to the Rayyats. So they again entangled in the cycle of the loan, and this was unended cycle, so that they do not want to grow it. Third reason, Rayyats were pressurized to grow it on its best soil. रैयत पर ब्रिटिश प्रेशर डालते थे कि इंडिगो को अपनी बेस्ट सॉइल में उगाओ, जो फर्टाइल सॉइल है उसमें उगाओ, बट रैयत वांट टू यूज इट फॉर द राइस कल्टीवेशन, क्योंकि जो इंडिगो होती थी वो सॉइल की फर्टिलिटी को ख़त्म कर देती थी। उसका रूट बहुत ही लंबा होता था और वो ज़मीन के नीचे गहराई में जाकर इट एग्जॉस्टेड द लैंड टोटली, उसका पूरा पानी एब्जॉर्ब कर लेती थी। So because of this, that land could not be sown for the next time. Could not be used for the other crops. Because of this, Rayyats do not want to grow this indigo on its best soil. These are the reasons why Rayyats were reluctant. So we have seen that two systems were implemented by the British in the indigo cultivation. The first was NIT system. In the first systems, means buying land was difficult for the British, and in the second system, farmers were reluctant to grow it on their own land because it destroying the fertility of the soil. So now further, how farmers will react, what they will do, and how then British will respond on their rebel, all these things we will see in the next video. Thank you.